Welcome to Herdly, where books turn into 3 stories, refreshing your knowledge in minutes. Today, we study together The Evolution of Biological Information, How Evolution Creates Complexity, From Viruses to Brains, by Christoph Adami, in which we probe into how evolutionary processes generate biological complexity across diverse forms of life, from simple viruses to complex brains, through principles of information theory and experimental evolution. Christoph Adami is professor of microbiology and molecular genetics and physics, as well as astronomy at Michigan State University. Don't go away. Herdly the editor will be right back with the story. In exploring how evolutionary processes generate biological complexity, we delve into 3 compelling stories: the adaptive evolution of viruses, the intricate coevolution of predators and prey, and the astonishing rise of intelligence in mammals. Each of these stories illuminates a different facet of how life evolves and adapts, building complexity in response to various environmental pressures. I remember the first time I read about the evolution of viruses. It's fascinating how something so small could hold the key to understanding the fundamentals of biological complexity. Take the story of the HIV virus, for example. HIV has a notorious ability to mutate rapidly, which is both its greatest weapon and a vital lesson in evolution. The virus doesn't just randomly mutate, it adapts to evade the human immune system in a sophisticated game of cat and mouse. The book describes a moment when researchers noticed how HIV's genetic material, once exposed to antiretroviral drugs, began to change almost immediately. They saw the virus creating escape mutations that allowed it to survive despite the medication. It was like watching evolution in real time. The virus becomes a master of disguise, each mutation a new mask, each step an adaptation to its host's defense. This rapid evolution demonstrated not just the survival mechanism of a virus, but also an important principle. Complexity arises from necessity. The HIV virus, in its quest to persist, inadvertently teaches us how life, even at its most basic form, can evolve into something profoundly intricate when faced with a challenge. It's almost poetic, this dance between life and death, survival and extinction. This story segues into the next, where we shift our focus from microscopic battles to a larger stage, one that involves the ever-evolving relationship between predator and prey. Imagine a vast African savanna teeming with life. Here, the gazelle and the cheetah play their own evolutionary game. The gazelle has evolved to run swiftly across the plains, zigzagging to escape its predator. The cheetah, in turn, has developed incredible acceleration and the ability to change direction mid-sprint to match its prey's movements. Over generations, these animals have co-evolved, each new adaptation in one spurring a counter-adaptation in the other. This is not just a simple arms race, but a complex interplay of evolution, showcasing nature's capacity for innovation. One striking example from the book involves a population of cheetahs that developed slightly longer tails. This small change gave them better balance during high-speed turns, a critical advantage when pursuing a zigzagging gazelle. The gazelle population responded over time by developing tighter muscles around their hind legs, allowing for even sharper turns. As one adaptation led to another, both species became highly specialized and more complex, perfectly tailored to their environment. The coevolution of predator and prey shows how interaction with other species can drive complexity in unexpected ways, where each step in evolution is like a move in a never-ending chess game. But this is not just a story about survival. It's a story about intelligence, strategy, and adaptation. As I was reading, I couldn't help but think about how this constant push and pull of evolutionary forces would be even more dramatic when we consider the rise of intelligence in mammals. And this brings us to our final story, which shifts focus from survival strategies to the evolution of the mind itself. The emergence of intelligence in mammals is perhaps the most awe-inspiring example of evolutionary complexity. Consider the story of early hominids on the African continent. They weren't the fastest or the strongest, but they had one advantage: their brains. Over thousands of years, their cognitive abilities began to surpass mere survival. The development of tools, the use of fire, and the formation of complex social structures were not just advancements. They were leaps in evolutionary complexity that set the stage for modern humans. One particularly gripping example is the use of stone tools. At first, these tools were simple and crude, but as time went on, they became more refined, more specialized for different tasks. This specialization required more sophisticated thinking, better communication, and even a rudimentary form of teaching. The book recounts a fascinating discovery in a cave in South Africa, where archaeologists found evidence of early humans using red ochre to create patterns on the walls. This wasn't just survival, this was expression, a sign of cognitive evolution. To mark the world was to claim a place in it, the text notes. It was here that we see a pivotal moment in evolution, the shift from mere adaptation to creativity and foresight. This leap from using tools to creating art is a testament to how evolutionary pressures can lead to unexpected complexity. As these early humans' social and environmental challenges grew, so did their need for better communication, cooperation, and innovation. Intelligence, it seems, wasn't just about survival. It was about thriving, about shaping the environment instead of merely responding to it. As we see, from viruses to human brains, the evolutionary process continuously generates complexity by responding to environmental challenges and opportunities. Each story in the book reveals a unique aspect of how life on Earth, when faced with the imperative to survive, adapts in astonishing ways that drive complexity. From the micro to the macro, from simple organisms to intelligent beings, evolution is an ever-unfolding narrative of life's determination to persist and excel in a dynamic and often hostile world. As the editor of Herdley, understanding these evolutionary processes inspires us to think about how we might harness the principles of adaptation and complexity to innovate solutions for future challenges. Be it in medicine, technology, or social systems, the lessons of evolution could guide us towards smarter, more resilient designs. In wrapping up our exploration of how evolutionary processes generate biological complexity, let's revisit our key point. Evolution, driven by necessity, continuously creates complexity across all forms of life, from the smallest viruses to the most sophisticated brains. This concept is further illustrated by a striking example in the book: the evolution of digital organisms in computer simulations. In a fascinating experiment, researchers created digital organisms in a virtual environment, allowing them to evolve under controlled conditions. These digital entities started as simple algorithms, but gradually developed complex behaviors, such as cooperation and competition, mirroring biological evolution. What's remarkable is how these digital organisms, much like living ones, adapted to their digital environment, developing new traits to enhance their survival and reproduction. One digital organism, for example, evolved a strategy to deceive its competitors, mimicking a behavior observed in some animal species. This digital evolution provided a powerful demonstration of how complexity can arise from simple rules and conditions, offering a unique perspective on the adaptability and ingenuity of life. The stories we've explored, from viruses to digital life, reveal a fundamental truth. Evolution is a powerful force that shapes all forms of life, constantly driving them toward greater complexity. By understanding these processes, we can better appreciate the intricate tapestry of life on Earth and perhaps apply these principles to innovate in ways we have yet to imagine. As the editor of Herdley, understanding these lessons from evolution encourages us to explore new frontiers, using nature's principles of adaptation and complexity to inspire the future of artificial intelligence and beyond.